Rest in the presence and hold space.
Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Omega Dantaya Vidmahi Vakrajundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignya Karadura Hamare. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. 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 Om Vakratundaya Mahakaya Suryakoti Samabhrava Nirvigyam Kuru Me Deva Sarva Karyeshu Sarvada. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha. Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Ganapataye Namo Namaha Suklam Bharadram Vishnu Sasivarnam Chaturjam Prasannavadanam Dhyaye Sarvavignyopashantaye Sarvavignyopashankam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Namaha Ganapataye Namo Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Jai Ganesha Gananata Dayaniti Sakala Vignakara Dura Hamari Ganapataye Namo Namaha 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 Om Ekadaya Vidmahi Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Danti Prachodayat Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Gam Ganapataye Namo Namaha Namo Namaha Namo Namaha
Namaste. Welcome to our weekly online satsang. Satsang being a Sanskrit word that literally means community of truth. We could just call it a spiritual community. Whenever two or more people on the path of awakening and transformation of consciousness, the flowering of the heart, come together to share their journeys, we have a satsang. And we strengthen one another exponentially when we share our presence, when we share our challenges, when we share our breakthroughs. It's a very important part of the spiritual journey, so we're glad you're here. Please find, if you can, some community where you live, where you can join together physically with people that share your spirit of awakening and with whom you could meditate or share blessings. You'll find you have more in common with people who are awakening than with people who belong to your own faith community or spiritual tradition. So it's so important that you're here because the world needs to wake up. The world needs to shift from a global insane culture of competition, conflict, and war to a new world of cooperation, harmony, and peace. And that's going to require the shifting of the collective consciousness from divisiveness, from separation, from division into oneness. That happens one heart at a time. But we believe that when we reach a certain critical mass, the entire teeter-totter of human consciousness is going to shift. People are going to wake up one day and go, I'm tired of fighting. The ego is just going to begin to drop away from the collective of humanity. We've got some work to do, and that's why we do everything that we're about, to help accelerate the awakening of as many people as quickly as we can. To that end, we share something called the Flowering Heart Blessing, which is a direct transmission of divine spirit consciousness, awakened consciousness, that comes directly from Source. It doesn't belong to any specific tradition or organization. It comes directly from the divine, and its purpose is to catalyze awakening and to remove obstacles from the path of people who are already in the process of awakening and take people deeper who are awakened, because that's not a destination, awakening, you know. It's a never-ending journey that just keeps expanding and expanding infinitely. So we're glad you've opted in, given your consent to the divine, and we look forward to spending this evening with you. Before I forget, please give us, if you're on Facebook Live, a thumbs up or a heart, a like or a love. We like to go in at the end and see the names of the people who dropped in during the satsang. And literally many times more people will drop in and watch this between tonight and next Monday night. And I go in every day and I look at who's been watching it during the week, and it's just a real blessing. And we'll send you extra love and hugs. So if you're on watching on Vimeo, you would need to make a comment in the chat and just say who you are and say hi. And we'd really appreciate it. I don't know what you do if you're watching on LinkedIn or YouTube. I guess you just have to send us an email.
You can do a like.
You can? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Well, then like us on YouTube. I don't know how it works on LinkedIn. We're always on the live streaming sending end of this, not on the receiving end. So you probably know more about it than I do. Anyway, after that time at the beginning where we just share silence together as the sacred music plays, we like to open it to questions and answers on the spiritual journey, on the process of awakening, divine union, meditation, any question you might have about the spiritual journey where you'd like to have more insight and clarity, please ask. It will benefit everyone because our journeys, while different and unique, parallel one another, and we go through a lot of the same challenges. So whatever you're dealing with, you can be sure that all the rest of us either have dealt with it or are dealing with it or will in the future. And to give you time to check inside and ask that still small voice, is there a question I might ask that would contribute to the discussion tonight in Satsang? I like to share quotes from a website that we enjoy. The website is inspiringquotes.com. A group of authors write brief articles on inspiring subjects and then share lists of quotes from influential people, wise people, philosophers, mystics, people of all walks of life throughout history that have said some pretty amazing things. This one tonight is written by Joyce Chen. Joyce is a writer, editor, and community builder based in Seattle, Washington, and we thank you for this. We seem to share a lot of Joyce Chen's articles. We must have common interests. This is 12 quotes about the power of forgiveness. And here's the little brief article introduction. From the time we're young, we're taught the importance of saying, please, thank you, and sorry. But learning how to say, I forgive you, is a trickier beast. Because forgiveness requires more than just saying the words out loud. It requires us to make a conscious decision, to choose to move on, to embrace the possibilities of the future, rather than focus on the negativity of the present. The key here is that forgiveness isn't really about a person's actions or hurtful behavior, so much as it is about your own peace of mind and self-care. According to the Mayo Clinic, deciding to forgive someone is actually beneficial to your health, helping to lower blood pressure and the risk of heart attack, while also reducing levels of anxiety, depression, and stress. Practicing forgiveness can also help you develop more empathy and compassion toward others, and ultimately strengthen your relationships. As writer and illustrator David Small once said, quote, to understand someone else as a human being, I think, is about as close to real forgiveness as one can get, unquote. Some of history's greatest thinkers have cited forgiveness as a key component to reaching your full potential in life. Below are 12 quotes meant to encourage forgiveness in tough times and change the way we view hurdles in our relationships. So here we go. First one. To forgive is to set a prisoner free and discover that prisoner was you. Lewis B. Smedes. For me, forgiveness and compassion are always linked. How do we hold people accountable for wrongdoing and yet at the same time remain in touch with their humanity enough to believe in their capacity to be transformed? Yes, indeed. Bell Hooks. Always forgive your enemies. Nothing annoys them so much. Oscar Wilde. Forgiveness says you are given another chance to make a new beginning. Desmond Tutu. We must develop and maintain the capacity to forgive. He who is devoid of the power to forgive is devoid of the power to love. There is some good in the worst of us and some evil in the best of us. When we discover this, we are less prone to hate our enemies. Martin Luther King Jr. The weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Mahatma Gandhi. Forgiving isn't something you do for someone else. It's something you do for yourself. It's saying, you're not important enough to have a stranglehold on me. It's saying, you don't get to trap me in the past. I'm worthy of a future. Jodi Picoult. To err is human, to forgive divine. Alexander Pope. I've always found that mercy bears richer fruits than strict justice. Abraham Lincoln. It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself to forgive. Forgive everybody. Maya Angelou. Take forgiveness slowly. Don't blame yourself for being slow. Peace will come. Yoko Ono. Forgiveness is a strange thing. It can sometimes be easier to forgive our enemies than our friends. It can be hardest of all to forgive people we love. Fred Rogers. Powerful indeed.
Nice.
You want to add anything?
Nope.
How about a Suzanne quote?
This is so important. Forgiveness is really, really important.
I've learned that I used to forgive, sort of like I understood what Joy was saying here. We make a decision, Joy said. Well, I heard it was good to forgive and we should forgive. So I would make a decision of my will to forgive someone, but every time I saw them, I would remember how they hurt me. And I'd, want to duck and hide. So I began to realize it isn't just sort of a generous choice. The ability to forgive, or actually the act of forgiveness itself, seems to happen quite spontaneously when we leave the pain behind. As long as we're carrying the pain of that hurt, then we may say we've forgiven someone, but we're wrestling with suffering because of what happened. We've also learned that psychological suffering is the result of resistance to feeling something fully in the present moment. So we don't want to feel our pain. Many of us self-medicate to deaden the pain. We try to push the pain into the subconscious or the unconscious so we don't have to face it. But that doesn't get rid of it. It's still there just waiting to be triggered and come to the surface. It's when we fully face it and embrace it and experience it that the emotional charge discharges and we're free from its grip on us. And we can choose, now that's where the choosing comes in, to leave the pain behind. Because we could choose to recreate it, to tell the story over and over again and keep rehearsing it, which will revive the pain. But when we fully embrace it and experience it in the present moment, then it's no longer causing suffering. It loses its grip, it dissipates and dissolves, and we have the opportunity to move on. And when we look inside in that space, we realize, lo and behold, we've already forgiven. We just needed, it's more about us than it is about the person. And I think Joyce nailed that in her little article. So, it's essential. And forgiving ourselves. I think the ability to forgive others probably flows out of the beginning of learning to forgive ourselves. We're programmed from such an early age to judge ourselves harshly and to feel bad about ourselves. And many of us go through life unable to forgive ourselves for not being better, for not accomplishing more, for having made a mistake. The only way you could possibly grow is to make a mistake. If you do something and it works out perfectly, you know what that does? It proves you already knew. And that just tends to reinforce the ego. Wow, I had that right. But when we screw up, when we make a mistake, then we can learn from our mistakes, try something different, be creative. The divine presence does not expect us not to make mistakes. I think that's one of the most horrible misunderstandings that some religion pumped into people over the centuries, over the last couple thousand years. that God somehow is calling us to be perfect, and when we fall short of the mark, that we're judged and there's punishment awaiting, and that is ridiculous. I mean, the divine is more like a loving parent than a strict judge and punisher. And the divine knows we're going to make mistakes before we ever make them. The divine sees past, present, and future like right now, all at once. So the divine is not shocked. The divine is not scandalized. The divine knows that's the only way we're going to grow. And that if we're making mistakes, at least we're trying to do something. And so that's my take on it.
I think as we learn to forgive ourselves and discover the unconditional love of the divine in our hearts, it makes it a lot easier to take the next step and have compassion, and we can really see hurt and unforgiveness is usually coming from fear of not being loved, fear of somebody hurting us, fear of not trusting. And when we start to move more into that divine love and unconditional love, it makes it a lot easier to open our hearts to forgiveness, because we start to become more self-aware of where we've hurt others in the past, or where we need to seek forgiveness, not only from ourselves but from others. And we used to take people through processes in our workshops of going through forgiveness, and it was amazing. They would come back the next day. They were usually 2-day retreats, and they would come back the next day and say, wow, this relative that I couldn't forgive, I forgave them, and they called me and I hadn't talked to them in 20 years, or other such stuff like that. They would get text from people, and it has an energetic ripple effect. Since we are all one, if we're holding unforgiveness towards anything, it's got an energetic field to it that that other person, place, or thing can actually feel. They're not conscious of it most of the time, but there's kind of an underlying thing. And it's also not good for our health.
One significant truth is that as we come to know the divine presence in truth, when we begin to experience direct contact with the divine presence, fellowship with the divine, we discover, a lot of us to our surprise, that the divine loves us unconditionally, that there's no judgment toward us at all, and that we're loved with all of our quirks and all of our faults. And when we experience that unconditional love from the divine, it infuses into us the capacity to extend that to others. So, okay, let's see what we've got here. I see one question from Magda Robles. Hi, Magda. How can I assist my son in troubled times? That's way too broad a question to be able to answer. I mean, is he hungry? Feed him. Is he naked? Clothe him. Is he sad? Comfort him and
Listen.
Make him laugh and listen. But whatever trouble he's in, you can assist by non-judgment, by holding space for him, to listen, as Suzanne just said, and to be patient. Give him safe space, unconditional love and acceptance, and hold the faith that he can be transformed and come through these times with transformation, and you'll see it will happen. You can send blessing. Absolutely, that helps. And at a distance, you don't need permission. If you give someone the flowering heart, oh, incidentally, I forgot to say that. Please join us in sending the flowering heart blessing to all who are attending tonight, and hold the intention that we're sending blessing to everyone that will ever watch this video in the future. And you're already soaking in it right now. So if you like this energy and presence you're feeling, just invite the divine to pour it through you, and just take an intention for all the people watching tonight and all who will watch in the days and weeks and months ahead. And you'll begin to experience this lovely, wonderful presence flowing through you. So, Magda, you hold your son in your consciousness, in your heart, with compassion. And you just, all you need to do, I mean, you can pray specifically if you know what's wrong and know what to pray for. But with Flowering Heart Blessing, all you need to know is that the Divine already knows. The Divine knows what's going on. The Divine knows what is needed. And is all powerful, all loving. And just hold your son with compassion and intention for the Divine to pour the grace out to him that he needs to help him through whatever he's going through. And I like to lift up my hands and close my eyes, but you don't have to do that. It just seems nice.
Too, when we have especially children or parents or very close family members that are going through hard times, I think especially as a parent, it's easy to fall into fear. And when we get into fear, we're actually creating an energetic vibration that's not supportive. It's going to make them recoil even more because they're already in that state and trying to figure out and work through that. So like Michael said, just hold the space for them, but also be mindful of your own fear and apprehension of what your son is going through. I know I went through that with our youngest daughter. She was when she was a teenager, she was really exploring a lot, and it made me really nervous.
Mm-hmm.
And
Me too.
And I realized one day that I've done the best that I can for her, and she's got to learn to be who she is in this world and figure her way through it, and that she's got guardian angels and she has God and you know, beings looking out for her. So I had to go and address my fear very, very deeply and surrender it all and let it go and just hold her space for her, and sending lots of prayers and asking for a lot of grace. And it was interesting that when I did that, she stopped. It was almost like we had a push-pull going. And I realized that when I let go of control and I gave it all up to God, there wasn't that push-pull anymore. And we started to just get along really well, and she started to settle down. And
to trust her that, you know, I mean,
Right.
give it to God, yes, but also trusting that her essential goodness.
Mm-hmm.
And she used to say to me, you know, you can't control me. And I went, I know, dear. I just want to help you stay safe, that's all. I want you to be safe and realize how much you're loved. But as soon as we all stopped trying to fix her, she began to resolve her own issues and grow up. I mean, until then, she was like vehemently cutting the umbilical cord. I am an adolescent.
I kept tying it in knots again. No, give me that back. We're gonna keep it connected. But it was very eye-opening for me to see how much my part and the inner work that I needed to do to help, you know, the situation flower instead of wither. So.
Yep. So I hope it wasn't muted on Vimeo. There was something about unmute broadcast. But I looked over Vimeo for a minute, and I saw Brad and Josephina here, first time for the Monday webcast. Nice to have you two join us. Much love to you. And to everybody else, to Magda and Joanne and Marcy
I love those love
and
bubbles. I don't know how people do that.
Stacy Morris and Paula, yep, and Bentley. So nice to see you tonight, and More. And, there are bunches of others who have given likes and loves, but I'm not going to read everybody's name. That could be embarrassing. I don't know. Maybe not. So are there any other questions? Yeah, Yekaterina is. Two is here. Yeah, much love back to you. So last week we ended up with like no question.
Right.
we dove into intent blessings and did the eye light meditation and called it a night. I don't mind doing that. But there's so many things we could share with you if you ask. Maybe you completely understand the path of awakening and higher states of consciousness.
I don't.
Maybe you totally understand the divine and the stages of melding into divine union, oneness with the divine, and becoming eventually deified. I mean, but I'll bet you don't. So you could ask, and that would kind of open the door, and the divine pours out the inspiration when you ask.
Something new just came in as a question.
Ask and you shall receive. Yeah, do you still do meetings in Clearwater?
Yes.
Yes.
Wednesday nights.
Wednesday night at Flowering Heart Center, I teach Qigong and Taoist meditation, which I've been teaching for over 50 years. And after that, we have our interfaith satsang. And it's just lovely. And we share the hands-on Flowering Heart blessings, and a wonderful time is had by all. So come join us, any of you, if you're here in Clearwater. All the information's on our website. And if you get on our email list, I send one newsletter a week that tells what the various events are and if we have special things going on. And it'll keep you informed. And we won't share it with anyone else, your email address. Promise. So any questions about spirituality, which is what we're here for? I'll wait a few minutes. I could read some more quotes to you from Native American elders.
Or we could dive in. It's pretty close to the time anyway.
Magda writes, special schedule. Please remind us so we can travel from Miami. Special schedule?
Well, if you're on our email, you'll be able to see them when Michael sends it out on Monday.
Or just go to the website, floweringheart.org.
Right.
All the meetings are there, and any information about it. But mostly, we do things throughout the week, and always on Monday night we do this. But Wednesday night is where we have the in-house meetings with the Taoist spirituality, and then our satsang with the hands-on blessings and discussion and snacks afterwards. And
So
that happens at 7:30 p.m., the satsang. If you're interested in the Qigong, you need to contact me first. And there's a lot of information on our website about that, but I want to be able to correspond with you or talk to you first before you come the first time to the Qigong, so I can sort of get you oriented and fill in the blanks.
And that's from 6 till 7:15.
Yes.
And then the last Sunday of every month we do Communion with the Cosmic Christ, and that's at 11 a.m. At Flowering Heart.
The last Sunday of the month.
Yes.
And that's an interfaith communion. We have Buddhists, we have Hindus, we have Jewish people, we have New Age people, we have people that actually don't define themselves as having any particular faith, who just really enjoy the energy of the heart path and the presence of the cosmic Christ. And so you're welcome to join us regardless of your faith or lack thereof. You certainly don't need to be a Christian. And that is, as Suzanne said, 11 a.m. here at Flowering Heart Center. But also, we also live stream that to Facebook Live and Vimeo and LinkedIn and YouTube, all those places.
And then something new we've added to our calendar is Sunday afternoons at 2 o'clock. We've started a book club and centering prayer group. So we're just on the last chapter of the first book, which is Open Mind, Open Heart. And then we will...
we've got some appendixes to go through.
Right. So we've got a few more weeks of that, and then we're going to be moving on to the next book. So if you're interested in joining that, it might be good to go ahead and read Open Mind and Open Heart and let Michael know, because they've all been recorded so you could get caught up. Kind of a fun way to spend Sunday afternoon. And
I'll be sending out a dozen passwords. Thanks.
It's usually an hour and a half, 2 to 3:30.
So what that's focusing on, the book club and the centering prayer group, is Christian mysticism and contemplative prayer, which is the Christic term for meditation. And that's where deep transformation happens. And I know there are people that are interested not in religion and not but are interested in Christian mysticism and spirituality, and it's a very powerful form of meditation that opens to infused contemplation that takes someone that can sense into divine union in a really straight up way. So you might enjoy that. Okay, and Katerina says, I learned a lot in the book club.
We all have. It's been really good.
Okay. I don't understand what you wrote. Is my sobs situation a direct relation of period Y soul has to experience? I don't know. Okay, is my son's situation a direct relation of period Y soul has to experience? He is an adult over 30. Well, whatever situation he's in, it does directly relate to what his soul is here to experience.
Right.
But I just don't know enough from what you're saying. You could contact me, you could email me sort of on the side, and I'd be glad to respond more. You can write me at michael@floweringheart.org. I'd be glad to respond to that. All right. Anything else we forgot?
I don't think so.
Anything else we remembered?
I don't think so. If I could remember, what would it be? An LP trick.
Oh, that's tricky. So go ahead and close your eyes and invoke the presence. Begin to drink in the grace that's pouring out to you. The most powerful presence in the universe dwells within you. The fullness of the divine dwells within you. Pure, unconditional love, compassion, tender mercy, all-knowing, all-wise, all-powerful. And it yearns to free you from suffering. The presence yearns to take you into its loving embrace and draw you into the center, into union, into oneness. Oneness with the divine source, oneness with others, oneness with all that exists. For all of our suffering is truly rooted in the illusion of separate existence. There is no separation, there is no distance between us. We are spirit. In spirit, there is no distance. It's all here now. There's no distance between you and the divine. If you felt like the divine was far away or veiled in darkness, that's an illusion of the mind. You're immersed in an infinite ocean of pure love. It knows what you need. Just receive the grace that's pouring out to you right now. Let go, and divine love will draw you into the center of your being, where the fullness of the light is shining. Just receive. You don't need to do anything or ask anything. Just drink it in. It's pouring out to you. It's pouring out within you. Awakening life and light. It will illuminate your spirit. It will clear your soul, your emotions, your thoughts, your feelings, your programs, and replace them with divinely inspired thoughts and feelings and ideas. Receive it. It will flood your physical body with healing, dissolve dis-ease and pain, shine out into your relationships to set them right. And through you, out into the world will it ripple, out through the collective of humanity to infinity. Just allow it and receive. Keep receiving. Drink it in, breathe it in, soak it up. Whatever you're holding on to, whatever you're carrying, whatever burden, release it, let it go. And the divine will take it. Now, keeping your eyes closed, visualize us sitting in a blessing circle, all of us together. Lift up your hands with your palms open, facing forward, and just invite the presence to pour the flowering heart blessing through you to all the others in the circle. Know that it is flowing back to you through all of them. And as the blessing flows through you to another, it works within you powerfully. Leave your burden in the middle of the circle as we all take a strong intent for divine intervention for you, for that situation. And let go. Now visualize planet Earth in the middle of our circle. See 8 billion some points of light covering the surface of the Earth. Each of those points of light is a human spirit. And let us take a strong intent and ask the divine to awaken humanity from the illusion of separation, duality, into the oneness of the one heart, the one love, the one consciousness. Melting away the hate, the fear, the pain. Flooding every living human being on planet Earth with the light of awakening. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Now you can rest your hands in your lap somewhere. And when you're ready, open your eyes as we dive into the light meditation. In this meditation, Suzanne and I are flooded with oceans of grace and light and love. And it floods through our whole being to you. All you need to do is keep looking. Keep your eyes open and make direct eye contact with Suzanne and or me. Just keep gazing at least one of our eyes. And receive. The light streams out through our eyes, the doorways of the soul, in through your eyes, into your spiritual heart of hearts, causing the fire of divine love and the light of awakening to burn brighter and brighter and brighter within you. All you need to do is just keep looking at yourself. Close your eyes now. Keep meditating with us for a few more minutes as the grace settles within you. Now keep meditating as long as it feels good to you, and or find a place to lie down nearby in Shavasana. That's to lie comfortably on your back with your eyes closed, your arms loosely at your sides with your palms open and turned upward, and just dissolve in the presence with gratitude. We love you very much.
Much love, light, and blessings.
Until we meet again, know that the divine in us beholds the divine in you, and we bow to you.